Hello, grade 10. We're back for another day of statistics because remember, math is the only subject that counts. Ha ha ha. Okay, here we go. So we're just gonna do some more mean, median type problems. But now instead of finding the mean, we are going to be finding some unknown values, okay? So yeah, you may have seen these before already, so let's give them a try. Okay, so we need to find A when we have these numbers that have an average of 12. Okay, so today is going to be using a little bit of algebra. So let's set up an equation for these, okay? So we know that we always find the mean by adding all the numbers together and then dividing them by however many we have. So A is some sort of a number. It is the same number. If you see the same variable being used, then it has to be the same number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we know that adding them all together, dividing by 9, we have a mean of 12. So now that you've set this up, it's the same way as we were doing average in the last one. Now it's just about solving this equation, okay? So if you carry over the 9 to both sides, then 12 times 9, you can do that in your head. Just do 12 times 10, that's 120, and take off 12. And so you're going to get 108 on this side. And then what are we going to have here? We are going to have a plus a plus a is 3a, not a cubed. And then all of these, 25, 45, 60, 84. Okay, from there on, subtract 84 from both sides. And we are going to get 24, I believe. And so a is equal to 8. If you wanted to be diligent and just check yourself, then you could substitute 8 for these values, and then when you average them all out, you should have the answer of 12. All right, two more, moving right along. Okay, so here we have a sample of 12 measurements that have a mean of 8.5, and we have a sample of 20 measurements that have a mean of 7.5. And we know that the mean of all 32 is what we need to find. Okay, so sometimes what people tend to do is they want to just average out the means, yeah? So they want to just find where this is. I hope you can see why this is not correct. This is not going to work because the 8.5 occurs a different amount of times than the 7.5. And in fact, if I had to guess right now what the answer will be, I don't know, but it's going to be lower than 8. You see how the average of these is 8, but we have more of the lower ones. So my guess is our answer is going to be like 7.8 or 7.9 or something, yeah? Just picture averaging, writing them all out. I'm not going to do it for all of them, but if I wanted to, I would write 8.5 12 times, and then I would write 7.5 20 times. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to actually find our totals, okay? So we don't know what these numbers were, but if they averaged out to 8.5, then we can just assume that each one was 8.5. It wasn't. Maybe one was 8.3, the other one was 8.7, but we don't care. We're just interested in the total, okay? So we know that the total of the first 12 is going to be 12 times 8.5, okay? And remember, it's much better if you do this with me rather than just watching it happen. So let's multiply these out. Okay, and for this one we get 102. And we're going to do exactly the same thing for the next one. So we have 20 7.5s on average. Okay, and 7.5 times 2 is 15, so 20 is going to be 150, okay? So this is our totals. So from there on, we know that we're going to have a total of 252. And so now we're ready to find the mean of all 32. And I'm going to use a good notation here that this is the mean of all of them. And it's going to be 252 divided by the 32. Okay, let's see what we get. I'm going to be rounding, so I'm using the approximate sign. 252 divided by 32 is, there it is. Okay, so you see, so our mean is 7.875. Okay. So again, I hope the strategy for these makes sense to you. Just always go for the totals first, okay? Okay, so one more. And I actually like these problems. I think they're kind of fun. It's like a little puzzle to hunt for the unknown numbers that will work. Okay, so, okay, so over the semester, Jamie did 8 science tests. Each was marked out of 30, and Jamie averaged on all 8. He averaged 25. However, when checking his files, he could only find 7 of the 8 tests. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever lost a test? For these, he scored 29, 26, 18, 20, 27, 24, and 29. So what we need is we need to determine what the mark was for the 8th test. And again, feel free to pause. If you think you know how to do this, fantastic. Pause it, do it, and then forward it to the end. And if you got the right answer, then you're good to go, okay? So what are we going to do? We know that a couple of ways that we could approach it. Okay, let's just find his total marks earned, okay? You don't have to do it this way, okay? If he has an average of 25 on all 8 tests, then we can say that he's earned a total of 200 marks, yeah? So maybe he got 23 on one, 27 on the other one, whatever. If that's the average, then you can just put that as every number. Okay, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna find the total that he got for the 7 tests that he didn't lose. Okay, so we're gonna add all of these up. So we're gonna go 29 plus 26 plus 18 plus 24. I'm gonna skip writing it all out. And so that is going to be 173. Okay, so you can think about it as he found 173 of his marks. Okay, from there on, you can just find the difference that's missing. Okay, so then his 8th test is going to be the total marks minus the ones that he has. And what's that? 27? 27 out of 30. Now, just do a little sanity check that your answer makes sense, right? So your answer, of course, since these are all out of 30, your answer should be less than 30. And since he had an average of 25 and you have a few that are kind of lower, it should be in the vicinity of these other ones, okay? So now go ahead and practice and try some of these on the practice sheets. And then after you've done that, you can go ahead and try the assignment of the day, okay? So I hope you enjoy these. Bye.